What's up? What's up? Another day leveled up. It's your boy Salem back with another one for you. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Gratefully could say I'm doing good, but I know that's not the case for everybody. I know spiritual and mental health is at an all-time low. It's almost ironic. The morale is almost going high, but the spirit is going further away at the same time. So I want to talk about how I'm seeing this situation. It took me a while, took a little brief hiatus because I needed a little spiritual rest stop myself. I was getting bogged down with everybody in the social media and their opinions and how people are reacting to certain things, and I always know it's best to retreat and go within and figure out what it is I could do or what perspective I could have on the current situation that will benefit me and those around me. And I want to get into a few things I've been noticing. So, rest in peace to George Floyd. These atrocities happen so many times, and they're now being filmed. And me always thinking things ahead, I know this happened and it's wrong. And I feel for him and his family, everyone around. And I'm grateful for everybody coming together, the protests. I don't condone the protests getting out of hand and the looting, but I understand the frustration. Yesterday here in Denver, our protests went on later into the night past our 9 p.m. curfew, and the cops actually allowed the people to remain in the streets, and they laid their arms down and allowed it to be peaceful. And apparently the chief of police is actually going to hold a live virtual conversation with the people. I'm not sure what's going to be said, but I'm always aware that with a problem, there's always a solution. And sometimes the people at hand, the people that are controlling things, will create problems to bring in solutions. And do not allow this protest and the death of George Floyd to get you up in arms, that you start to harm other people and businesses, because that's what they want. There's no need for military to come into the streets, but if that's what they want, they will make sure to incite that. They will make sure to figure out how to make it a solution. There's people I've been shown that they've been seeing bricks and stuff actually waiting by buildings, like properly placed to almost be thrown into these buildings and things, almost looking for a reason to start to be aggressive back towards the citizens. So you have to realize, like, there's other forces at work here that want to get you in a frenzy where you're not thinking logically, that they come in to police you and the whole city, the whole state, country, that they think it's in your best interest to police you while stripping all your liberties and your freedoms away at the same time. So we have to be cognitive that we're not allowing our emotions to drive our decisions, because right now emotions are at an all-time high. If you're not one who can handle your emotions, I advise you to stay off social media, because there's so much bad and negative things going on that if you speak, just by speaking your mind, you're going to be pretty much crucified just by having an opinion. There's people that are just sending out prayers, who are just saying, pray for George Floyd and pray for the cop who did that to him, who killed him, and his family. And people are getting backlash just for saying pray for everybody. So be cognitive, and if you're not mentally, spiritually strong, I advise you not to even try to put yourself out there. But with that said, so I'm making this video on Blackout Tuesday, announced Blackout Tuesday, and I myself felt a little pressure to speak out or post something on my Instagram today, because there's a lot of people saying silence is during certain times, or befriending the enemy or whatever, and those words could get to you, and it's better to just be part of the conversation. I've realized, and realize the potential sacrifices that you're going to make. Like, life is a sacrifice, so by speaking on these things, you are putting yourself up to have that conversation with people and maybe get backlash, and I'm aware of that. But the truth always needs to be said, and I've realized with this whole protest and movement that my non-black friends and people I speak to, and me walking on the streets, I sense this subtle fear. A subtle fear that's crept its way in to everyone who's not black, that they're now fearful that they are white, Hispanic, or something. They feel the need just to say something. They just feel the need, even without knowing what to say, they just feel the need to say something. And they've been almost allowed the media and other people to bully them into this fear of like, yo, I know I may not be able to walk in your shoes, and I may never know, but I'm going to speak my piece, and we're all on this together. And that's true. But with that said, it's also getting the non-black people in their head that they are different, they're separate. So it's so sly. So even with us coming together and everybody unifying in these protests, there's still a division on the back end, that people still feel divided. Even when they're coming together, they still feel divided because they will never know and see things from a black person's perspective, which they can't. But once you realize we are all spirit and we are all one, that fear is going to subside. We're allowing this other subtle fear to creep in and have our friends who are non-black walk around with this fear of saying the wrong thing, and they rather not even maybe hang out with the black people because they feel like they may not be able to say the right thing, and they might get crucified or freaking canceled in the social media. And it's like, there's no need to apologize. There's no need to apologize for something you have not done and your skin color that you had no choice of. If you did not do anything bad and you know you're a great person, do not feel bad in this situation. Fear is always a low vibration that people could capitalize on. So if you're already in this fearful state, fearful that you're putting yourself out there to just get recognition and be part of, get a seat at the table, you're just speaking out of fear. Don't do that. Speak. Your voice is still valuable. I posted that even during this blackout Tuesday time, do not feel discouraged to voice and use your platform to spread awareness and be you. There's nothing wrong with that. And the fact that people have been saying, like, posting in this space right now of your haircut or whatever, you should be ashamed. You should create space for the Black Lives Matters movement and things like that. That it gets everybody, it rubs people the wrong way. It's always going to rub people the wrong way when you tell them what to do. So that's not the solution. It's not like, shut up, you're not black, do not speak right now. You're allowing your emotions to take over you, and that's not the spirit talking. That's not the spirit. That's just the truth. Another thing with the protests going on, it's like, where's the COVID-19? Did we forget about that? Like, you got all these people in mass groups, but some cities are still at 25, 50% capacity, and it's like, apparently here in Denver, there's been 2 full days of no cases, no deaths. There's been protests for the last 4 or 5 days. If this doesn't wake you up to what's really going on, it's always trying to divide you. Get a mask. Stay home. There's some something at hand. You need to be on guard. Oh, that's not working? All right, well, in the midst of everybody scared and wearing masks, George Floyd was killed and broadcasted to everybody when they're already in this low vibration of fear that they don't know what to do. People are out protesting with no solution. The cops were to kneel down and put their arms down, like say we're sorry. What's the solution? So all right, guys, let's go home. We got the solution. Like, what is the solution? I don't really know the actual solution, but I do know that I am in control. I am in control of my sphere and what happens around me. My reality, I know I set the tone. I've been having almost a individual reality alongside of everything going on. With the corona, with all this, it's almost like I'm in a different world because I'm always making sure wherever I go, whatever I do, I'm making sure my vibration is of one at peace. I make sure my vibration is always one of love and peace before I leave the door. If I leave it up to chance, I don't know what's going to happen outside the door, what I'm going to see on social media. That more than ever, it's now the time to go within and be close to spirit. You need to know, you need to tap in, because the intuition, that is the spirit. You need to know where to go. That's your compass. You're going to get those subtle hunches and those voices to tell you to do this or that, and you need to know how to hear that. But right now, you're getting so far away from spirit that in fear, you're not going to be able to hear it. And that's what they're trying to do. Once the whole country and citizens lose their spirit, then the society is doomed. We are slowly being pulled away from spirit, that we don't ever look for that for direction. We're looking for Trump for direction. We're looking towards the blacks now for direction. No one could tell you individually what to do. You have to know that by going within. No one has your answer. No one could speak for you. No one could tell you what you need to do today or tomorrow. You have to know day by day, listening to that. And going forward, be grateful. More than ever, take the time to write down things you're grateful for before you leave the house. I doubt majority of people are doing that, especially during these times. If you're up in arms about things, I doubt you wrote down some things you were grateful for that day. If you weren't peaceful out there, doing what you do, I doubt you took time to reflect on things you were grateful for in that day. And that's just the truth. There's just no way. Your vibration is not on that level. It cannot resonate at the same level. It's crazy times. It's only June, guys. It's only mid-2020. You've had the corona, you've had potential World War III, you've had Kobe dying. This all seems like so long ago because it was such a huge deal and had you in fear and sadness that it's not going to let up. I doubt it. There's always something coming. But if you are not taking the time during these times to know that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, you're going to allow this human experience to stray you from that awareness and get you in a state where you are operating out of fear, not empowered love, knowing that you are a spiritual being. You're an eternal being that will always live throughout all this bullshit. We are all mortal. We're all going to die someday, but the fear of dying will put you in a state that you are looking out for yourself, and you'll do anything, any means necessary to make sure you're safe. And that is not a good state to be in. Cops or the protesters. Cops are humans as well, and if you get them to a point where they're fearful of their own life, they're gonna just react. And all it's going to take is one, and we don't need that. And we'll see how things go, but I know the best thing to do right now is to make sure your vibration's on high, so you could keep that your tone and frequency and the surroundings around you at a proper vibration. Because once you slip up, it's a ripple effect. You could do just as good by being centered and making sure you are one of a high vibration of peace, that will be contagious to those around you. Just don't forget, we create our own reality. The universe bears no ill to me, I bear no ill to it. My inner reality creates my outer reality. Know those two things. Always, do not forget those. Be in the world, but not of the world. Be in the world, but not of the world. But I'm just wrapping up with that. If any of you guys resonated with any of this, feel free to share this message. Share this message. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment on anything that you're feeling. This is an open discussion that we all need to be having. And like I said, anyone who's non-black right now, do not be fearful of being you. Do not let anyone tell you that you need to just shut your mouth and that they have authority and right to tell you that right now, because we are all eternal beings at the end of the day. We are not our flesh. We do not have the choice to be whatever color we are. So do not walk in fear. You set the tone. That said, I'm out. I'm out, guys. I'll see you in the next one.